board meetings are an enormous waste of time for everybody. And that has to do with the amount of redundant time waste on setting these meetings up and the presentation materials. And that can be crushed down by having cloud-based AI-powered tools that make it like a tenth the time for a company. On Zeck, a company can set up for a board meeting in 1/10 the time that they were using to prep before it. Board members should get to read something that's, you wouldn't read the New York Times or Bloomberg on a PDF. You read it in a mobile friendly scroll, right? That we expect that now. And so everything about the user interface should be easier for both sides of the table. But also think about this. Think about how much time, how many professional, talented people whose time is valuable sit there in board meetings approving minutes approvals, approving stock option packages, things that they ought to be able to do from the airport lounge in advance. So we built governance function that can be interactive and mobile and all of it.
So your customer is the board.
The customer is the company and the board. But both sides, management and board members, suffer in different ways, and we've tried to reform it. But when you crush the redundant inefficiency of time waste, you improve the quality of the meeting too, because a board meeting should be a forward-looking experience, not a, you don't want to spend hours looking backward. Everybody can ingest the looking backward part before the meeting. You want the meeting to be propulsive and additive to where the company or the organization is trying to go. And the best thing about what people are saying to us is not just, oh, we really love the user interface, it's much easier, it's easier to read. We love that they're saying to us, this has radically improved the quality and the value of the meeting itself and what we're getting out of our board.
So you guys just raised about $7.5 million Series A led by Salesforce Ventures, including some other guys as well. What are you going to do with it? And what's sort of your end goal here?
Well, I think if you look at, first of all, Salesforce to this day is still, they still are the greatest innovator in cloud-based corporate tools. And I've known Mark Benioff a long time, even though I never told him that we were doing this with his own team until it was done, because I didn't want to, I didn't want it to come from the top down. The Salesforce team is really phenomenal. But, our fantasy was to work with Salesforce because really nobody understands the business of cloud-based corporate tools better than they do. And I also like their ethos as a company. I think they have a great customer service ethos there. But if you look at, think about today, would you ever get a FedEx package with signature tabs on your legal documents? No, you get it in DocuSign now, right? You don't manage your cap table in Excel spreadsheets anymore. You use Carta. And we've made this evolution toward lots of aspects of corporate function have gone into the cloud, but this really critical function hasn't. And we think that on a business level, to be honest, if you look at, Carta, which is a $7 billion private company, and DocuSign is a $15 billion public company, there's an enormous market in relatively low-priced corporate software tools. And we really thought this was a good business. We think there's a very large marketplace of companies and nonprofit orgs that need to reform this critical piece of the function.
Where are you in the evolution of the company? Have you signed up clients now?
Oh yeah, we're into the thousands of companies and nonprofit orgs who are our customers.
Interesting, like Fortune 500 companies. What size companies?
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny you say that. We are just in the process of clearing what they call the SOC 2 software security process, and that lets you be a platform for public. We actually have a number of large public companies using it, but we have been mostly for smaller and mid-sized private companies until we clear this critical kind of security.
Do you guys have an end goal here? Because I know with your previous company, CrowdRise, right? That was sold to GoFundMe.
Yeah.
With the same co-founders. Is this the same roadmap for you guys here?
Yeah, I think that we've been totally focused on the product to date, making sure that it really, really works and really gets the kind of response that it's getting. So essentially, we went to Salesforce and said, here's how it works. They loved it, and we said, how do we now sell this? How do we now grow this as a business? And And even when we present it like Salesforce's Dreamforce and things, you're talking to a constituency of many tens of thousands of companies, and that's our agenda now. Is we kind of did it in stealth, and as we're doing here with you, we're kind of coming up and out.
And is it a subscription model?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's for any company. That it's incredibly familiar, and if you subscribe to DocuSign, if you subscribe to Carta, you're talking sub $10,000 a year type subscriptions for these tools, and that's why we think, because it has to work for a nonprofit org, it has to work for a small startup company. We're not talking about $100,000 a year enterprise software contracts. We're literally talking under $10,000 a year.